Hey everybody, it's Abraham DeWeese from Seattle Sports Union, and with me is...
My name is Brian Solack.
Or as most people know you as the Soulman, right?
Soulman, yes.
Soulman. Hey man, we've known each other for quite a while, and we're now only just starting our first podcast here at Seattle Sports Union, and I want to say thank you for joining. And where are we today? You might take a look back there and see lovely Bellingham, Washington, where the Bellingham Bells take on who?
Yakima Pippin.
Did we Yakima Pippin?
Which I think it's a apple. That's my guess.
The Pippin is an apple?
I think so.
Okay, thank God. I thought it might be just a bunch of Scottie Pippins running out there or something to that effect. Hey, guys, I just want to throw this out there before we get too much into this. I'd like to let you all know we got a great sports blog out there called SeattleSportsUnion.com. Check that out. We also have a Twitter presence and Facebook presence, of course, at Seattle Sports U being that Twitter post or Twitter. What do you call that? What is it called? A page?
Twitter page, yeah.
Sure, why not? Let's call it that. And what about our Facebook page? That's a Facebook page. That's a page. Okay.
Yes.
You can tell how old I am. I'm confused by the internet.
It's a Twitter account. I don't know.
Dude, you're actually a Twitter fiend. I've seen you both on your personal Twitter, which is at Soulman.
Soulman156.
At Soulman156, and you have the most followers. You have almost more followers. No, I think you do have more followers than our own Seattle Sports.
Not yet.
Not quite there.
Yeah,
okay,
I've lost a few lately.
You're pretty popular, Brian, with the Seattle University crowd, and you're pretty popular with the Everett AquaSox. Hopefully, we can bring your popularity over here to the Bellingham Bells.
Absolutely.
All right, great. Well, guys, we come to the Bellingham Bells every year. Well, we at least have for the last 1 year. We were here a couple times last year, and we're going to try to do the same this year. And why do we do that, Brian? Why do we like the Bells so much?
Just because they're part of, well, we love baseball, number one. Number two, they're in our state of Washington, and you and I
they're almost closer to, let's get to the brass tacks.
Okay.
They're almost closer to where I lived than the Seattle Mariners.
Exactly.
And looking at the miserable season that the Mariners are having, it's kind of refreshing to have outdoor baseball with actual kids out there, and I do call them kids because they're college students?
College students, yes.
And to watch them look forward to achieving their dreams, it's pretty exciting because we have been watching, as I said, that miserable wreck of the Mariners team. It's fun to see some hope and some excitement.
Oh, definitely. Just a short drive up north, just short of the border. It's a great experience coming up here.
Well, we came up here for the first time last year. At least that was my first time. Had you ever been to the Bells games?
No, my first too. I didn't even know they were been here so long in their history too. It's amazing.
Well, speaking of history, just over there's a list of all the famous players that have played with the Bells. What did I see? Pedro Guerrero,
Edgar Martinez.
Who's
going in the Hall of Fame next month.
Oh, you're going to go see him, aren't you?
I am, yes.
Oh my gosh, that's exciting. What, your wife got that as a birthday present to you? Or are you just a hell of a guy?
I'm
and your
just
wife's...
a hell of a guy.
Okay,
we're celebrating our 25th anniversary.
Oh, it's an anniversary present. That's awesome. And congrats on the 25 years.
Thank you.
That's pretty cool. I was taking a look at that banner. Yeah, you saw Edgar. Of course, Ken Griffey Jr. himself played here.
Oh, yeah. Was it 1987, I believe?
Yes. Let's just say that was way before we were born. Wink, wink.
Wink, wink.
Yeah, maybe not. I don't know. But it definitely was what do they call the Baby M's at the time?
Baby M's, yeah.
Okay, so it wasn't the same as this, though, right? Because the Baby M's were an actual affiliate of the Mariners.
Yes.
What, for our listeners out there, what are the Bellingham Bells? What's the best way to describe?
They're just a college. It's like, when you're growing up, you're a kid, you played summer ball. If you took baseball seriously, you played on a summer team. They're just like a summer team for colleges. College players from across the country come here to play. They get paid. It's like a summer job. If you know baseball really well, the Cape Cod League back east is probably the top where most
I don't think you even have to know baseball well because that movie Summer Catch.
Oh, yeah, good
right?
call. Yeah, that is correct. That took place there in about Cape Cod League. But West Coast League has been around since, I believe, 2005. And it's gotten popular and popular. Their new commissioner, Rob Nair, used to be a sports writer.
For ESPN, right?
Yeah, and didn't you say he was from the state of Washington?
He's from here, and it's pretty cool to see him running this show because I always loved his articles. He was always complimentary to the Mariners, even when he didn't have to be.
Absolutely, and then the former GM of the AquaSox, Brian Sloan, was the president of the league. I don't know, honestly, if he still is, but he was recently. So there's a lot of history here.
Very cool, very cool. Now, one thing that you didn't mention, but I thought it deserves speaking about, this West Coast Baseball League, they use wood bats, and that's a big deal, right?
Yes, it is a big deal.
Why?
You're getting ready for the major leagues. It's a kind of a practice lead into their next step, hopefully, to get drafted by Major League Baseball.
Okay, so what we have are a bunch of players who are in college and haven't been drafted.
Exactly.
Now, there are some that I saw that were drafted, but once you go to college, you kind of forfeit that right to...
Forfeit that right, correct.
Okay, so they might be drafted again.
They could be drafted again, yes.
And so does this league that Bellingham participates in, is it heavily scouted by the major leagues?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so this is a chance to see them outside of their college. What can you do in a wood bat environment? Is that a fair assumption?
So,
okay.
Yes.
So now, how does this differ from? Let's say, the Everett AquaSox? We have a huge presence. Seattle Sports Union does at the Everett AquaSox. Great partners with us. They're a minor league team, so they're not like this.
No, they're not.
What makes them different?
Well, because they were drafted. They were either drafted in the Major League Draft or they're signed as free agents. I mean, they're part of the actual pro sports organization, starting out at the bottom. They have all one goal to make it to the majors one day. Bellingham Bells is just a college summer team, hoping to get noticed and get picked in the MLB draft.
So the 25 guys from the Bellingham Bells and the Yakima Pippins, these guys are going to get drafted, and then they would get fed into a system like the Everett AquaSox.
Exactly.
Which is the lowest?
It's single A, short season, yes.
Okay. And so for our listeners out there, the progression would go, if you went the college route, you would be invited to a team like this,
exactly.
The Bellingham Bells.
Correct.
You show off how great you are, how wonderful you are, you get drafted, and then you would get sent to somewhere within let's just use the Mariners, for example, because that's what we know. You get sent to Everett, the AquaSox.
Correct.
Okay. Now, if you're really, really good, would you skip that, or do you have to go through this system?
If you're really good, I guess the older you get, maybe if you're 22 years old coming out and they think you're almost major league ready, they may throw you in AA or AAA right away. Okay.
So, there's guys like that, Dave Winfield and John Olerud, who'd never even went to any of these, but the majority of people,
yes,
start off at somewhere like Everett, and then where would they go from Everett? If you're a Mariner, let's say Soulman, you got drafted, you're a third-round draft pick out of Washington State University, where you would start off at Everett, then go to where?
Go Cougs, by the way. I have to throw that plug in there. After Everett, you would go to West Virginia is actually probably the next step.
Now they're called the Power. The Power, yeah.
Power, and then you go to the Modesto Nuts.
Okay, that's AA. So
that's actually high single A.
Oh, okay. So it goes Everett AquaSox, then
West Virginia,
and then Modesto,
and then AA is Arkansas.
Right on.
And then AAA is Tacoma.
Okay.
But I mean, it all depends on the need too and how good you're doing. Some players do jump from single A to AAA, or it has happened.
But that would be the standard route, accelerated or decelerated based on your skill set.
Yes.
That's how that happens. So that's good to know. That's good fundamental. What's the difference between Bellingham Bells and Everett AquaSox in the progression? Are there any players that you've seen either here in Bellingham or that just got drafted by the Mariners that we will see in Everett that have caught your eye?
I would say, who got drafted by the Mariners, their number one pick, George Kirby, is assigned to play for the Mariners, so he should be fun to watch this year.
George Kirby came out of a university I had no idea it even existed. It's called Elon University, right?
Correct.
Private school out of where? Maryland, Virginia, East Coast somewhere, right?
I thought Virginia, but I'm not sure because I've never heard of it before.
Yeah, so You guys can look that up on Wikipedia, but we're just gonna assume it's on the East Coast somewhere. And I was taking a look at his stats. He led the NCAA in walks to strikeout ratio, right?
That is correct.
And it wasn't even close to the next person, right?
No, it was not.
Do you have any numbers, or is it? No, I don't remember either. Not coming quite to me, but it was eye popping. It was startling. But my question to you is, somewhere like Elon University, a place that we never heard of. I looked it up one day on Wikipedia. It's a private school, I think a Christian school. They play in some league that I never heard of. Are his numbers hyperinflated because he went to a non-power college? What's your opinion?
Yeah, yes and no. I mean, the competition's probably not as good, obviously, but just watching this guy's video and his mechanics, there's so much high hope there to be excited. I mean, I hope Trader Jerry doesn't trade him away before we get the chance to see him.
So, okay, let's pop up to that question. We've lost a couple guys recently, like the kid that's playing in Atlanta, Luis Gohara.
Yes.
That was a guy that was shipped off. A lot of talent. Has Dipoto done this to anybody he's already drafted? For me, it seems like guys like Gohara were guys he didn't draft. That's the old regime, and he was more than happy to kick them out.
I thought he drafted Gohara, though.
Did he?
Because he came in I thought he started in 2015, and Gohara was
picked. That would have been.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought Gohara was a little bit older than that. Okay. Or I thought he was with the team a little bit longer.
I could be wrong, but that's what I thought. But I know either way, Dipoto started around 2015.
What I'm saying, the fundamental precept of this is, I remember the Purge being mostly Jackie Z guys that he got rid of.
You are correct.
Okay.
Up till last year and a half, though, he would trade a lot of his talent
like who?
away. Oh my gosh,
Well, Falia was traded, right?
No, Falia was traded. Then I failed a physical or something. So
well, it was a drug test, yeah. But
sorry, Eric. But yeah, it's
no,
true.
we love you, Eric. But I mean, it's a one of the best interviews I ever had in my life. Actually, was with Eric Falia. But there was a reason for him to go, and it was that failed test. Was there anybody else? I mean, Brigman's still on this team. Bryson Brigman's still here.
No, they traded Brigman. He's part of the Marlins organization.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm proving your point for you.
I think he's in AA now, so he's still around.
Okay, good to know. So, if that's the case, if that's a scenario that he's willing to trade these guys, maybe now I have a similar concern that you do. You brought up the guy from Elon, George Kirby.
George Kirby.
George
yes.
Kirby. Anybody else that you've seen their name pop up either at Everett or Bellingham that you want people out there to know about?
Mariners drafted a catcher with the 11th round pick out of Fresno State, and I had his name a couple minutes ago when we were talking. Now I slipped my tongue.
Well, I saw him. We were at the dinner for the Everett AquaSox. Yeah, he was sporting the Golden State Warriors heavily, and he was unfortunately not able to enjoy the Warriors game because we had dinner with him. Was he the gentleman sitting next to you at the dinner?
He was the third player over at the table.
Yeah, he was at the table. He was at the table. I was wondering about that Fresno State shirt that he had. But yeah, it's sad for him. But now, you know what? He can focus on the actual games. The Everett AquaSox. When's their season opener? Next week?
The season opener was on the road last night. They won 5-0. The home opener's next Friday.
Oh, okay.
At Funko Field. And one more player I didn't forget to mention is a guy named Damon Casetta Stubbs. He just got assigned to Everett. He was drafted the 11th round pick last year. He's got a high upside. He's a pitcher, 19 years old. Seattle U wanted him, and he was going to go to Seattle U before the Mariners picked him. You could say I'm a little biased because my buddy of mine, his son, is best friends with him. But this guy's got a lot of high talent, and I'm looking forward to watching him and hopefully get to meet him this year. Well,
let's talk about Seattle University. I'm wearing my Seattle University hat. We had the opportunity to cover him the last couple of years. They're they have a pitcher who was derailed with injury, but still got drafted, didn't he?
He did. Jake Prizina, by the Baltimore Orioles in the 31st round. He was supposed to go a lot higher than that, but he had a tough year with the injury and all, ruptured spleen. But the guy's got a high upside. Baltimore made a great pick.
Okay, great. What did you like about him when you saw him?
He has three strong pitches. He moves the ball all around. His velocity is pretty high.
Let me ask you about that. You're my baseball guy. You know a lot more about these things than I do. When somebody comes out of college, what do you consider, like, if you were a scout, what would you consider a player who catches your eye? Is it that guy who throws 99 miles per hour? Is it a guy who has command? Is it a guy who has different types of pitch, or they call it stuff, I think, right?
Stuff, that is correct.
Well, what's the most impressive thing?
To me, it's the command, but I think nowadays if they see a kid throw 99 miles an hour, the scouts are drooling and they convince the ownership to draft these kids. But I think command's more important.
What
the speed will come eventually if you're not.
Okay, so the stuff or are those things you can learn?
You can learn, yes.
Okay. But speed you can't learn though, right? And that's maybe why scouts are digging that.
Correct.
Okay. You can't get the mechanics better, right? I mean, like, you're either able to throw it that fast or you're not, right?
Correct.
Okay.
A.K.A. Randy Johnson was a big example.
Literally a big example. Yes. Hey, so the other day, you and I got to go have dinner with the AquaSox at the new Funko Field. Funko Pop are those little toys that seem to be just super exciting, super fun, super relevant to people other than me. I'm not slamming them. They're toys. Maybe, I'm just old fogey that's like, okay, it's just toys. But these guys are popular.
They are. I didn't know what a Funko was until last season when they had a giveaway, to be honest with you. When they moved into Everett, downtown Everett. I mean, they're collectibles, I guess. They tell you not to open them and take them out of the box, so mine are sitting on my shelf in my box. But
oh yeah, but I mean, aren't kids gonna like break into the box and play with them?
Yeah, I could see. Yeah, they're gonna get a lot of little kids.
I had a G.I. Joe toy called the Sky Striker back when I was a kid. I don't know if any of you guys are G.I. Joe fans. You remember the F-15 Eagle plane, and it's like their iconic. I mean, it's straight out of Top Gun.
Okay.
And my dad was like, you gotta hang that from your ceiling, and like, no, hell no, I'm playing with it. And what happens to it with any other toy? It breaks. Yeah. So I should have kept that. That would have been great, but I wouldn't have had the fun that I would have.
That was the same thing with the Star Wars figures.
Yeah.
They told me to be careful, but I wanted to play with them.
Of course. Then their heads pop off.
Exactly.
Because by God, George Lucas has a fetish with cutting off people's heads and arms and hands and whatnot. Okay, so maybe we don't know why the toys are popular, but they are, and that's all that really matters, because they've contributed to a major sponsorship to the AquaSox.
Yeah, they have. I mean, the field's renamed, and then just every Friday night they're going to have Funko Friday night and give out whatever to the kids. Obviously, it's probably one of their characters, toys or whatever you call them. We're getting.
Yeah, we sound like two old guys. With kids with these toys.
Everett's getting a new scoreboard out of it. I mean,
nice.
Good deal, man.
When do I get to the point where I'm like screaming at the music? Stop playing that! That's not real music. I feel like Solack. I feel like I'm getting there. I really do.
I understand.
No. Anyway, they're handing out those toys, and I was looking at the ticket sales. They have Everett AquaSox have the most season ticket sales they've ever had.
Yeah, they do.
And some of those Friday nights when Funko was having a toy giveaway, a lot of those games are almost sold out.
They are. Opening night's already almost a sellout, and that's pretty good.
So what does this mean, aside from the toys, what does this mean for fans? You mentioned that there were updates to the field. Mm-hmm. Like what?
Well, the big new scoreboard is going to be the biggest one in the Northwest League. It's like double the size of last year.
You mean the one that last year that had a pixel that was out?
Yeah.
Or I think it's been out for the last year and a half.
Several pixels, yes. But I mean, hopefully it'll mean fixing the seats. There are a lot of seats in the ballpark could be used for. Hopefully they can use the money for that, and maybe more for advertising. You name it.
Right on. And there's also a 16-foot statue.
Oh yeah,
out there. Freddie, yes, Freddie Funko. That's their mascot, and he's out there in right field.
Yep.
Yeah.
Jeff Swanson, you're gonna have a new buddy out there. Our favorite fan in the orange shirt.
Nice. Did he get a new orange shirt?
We're working on that.
So for those of you who don't know, every AquaSox game, there is a gentleman that sits in right field on the berm wearing an orange shirt. And one day, we had to go talk to him, didn't we? Not we had to, as in somebody was forcing us. We were just compelled to get this guy's story.
Oh, yeah.
Did you interview him, or was that Matt?
I didn't know that was me.
That was you, okay.
Yeah, great guy. Great guy. No other words can describe him. Pat Dillon, the announcer of the AquaSox, who's the best in baseball for Northwest League, he told us a story that Jeff was listening to him on the radio during one ball game, and Pat couldn't tell the number of the right fielder, so Jeff just texted him out of the blue what the number of the jersey was.
Who the player was.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh, man, that's what it's about. I mean, this game that we're at right now at the Bellingham Civic Park, I believe it's called. It's kind of just fascinating looking at these fans. This is small town America.
It is small town America. I mean, when we were here last year, it's just we showed up. There was not many people here, and then within an hour, everybody's coming out of the woodworks, just piling in the parking lot. Families bringing their coolers or whatever.
Picnics, yeah. Right where we're sitting, in the left field. What would you call this? Is this a berm? This is a berm.
Yeah.
Yeah. They had picnics out here, and there's plenty of booze flowing. Well, not booze, but beer. So people had their beers, and it was exciting. I was taking a look at the field out there right now. It looks like the Yakima Pippins are doing batting practice. Back when you were playing, like, I wonder sometimes about batting practice. Do people just get bored out there because they're just standing around, Solack?
You would think so. I don't know. It was fun back in our day, just because we're out there, shooting the shit. Pardon my language, but what else?
Beep. Bleep that out later.
Sorry.
Bleep it in post.
But no, just we're out there having fun, and it's just a way to relax and get ready for the ball game. We're just out there fielding fly balls, have competitions, who could hit how many home runs during batting practice.
So there's a layer that I'm watching that I'm not getting then, is there?
Correct.
Okay. But see, that's the kind of thing that you can get to do at a stadium like this where you're so close to the field. Guys, we are pretty much next to the fence. And if we want to the entire game, we can hang out. It's practically on the field.
Yeah.
What does that cost at a Mariners game?
Oh my gosh, what?
$100?
$100 at least. That's probably for two people.
I don't know. I can't even. I've never had more than $100 before, so
Yeah.
You might as well say $1 million. Like it just seems unattainable. Same with the AquaSox though. AquaSox, you get right next to the field, and that's amazing.
It is. You're very up and close. You're part of the ball game. And you mentioned Civic Field. That's the entire place, but this is Joe Martin Field.
Oh, okay.
In general.
So this is Civic Park.
Yeah.
Joe Martin Field.
Joe Martin Field, yeah.
I wonder who Joe Martin is.
The football stadium is across the way. I don't remember the name of the football stadium.
Do you think the Vikings don't have a football team anymore?
No,
do they?
not anymore. No.
Okay, so I wonder if that's where they would have played if they existed, but I assume that's for high school. So let's take a look at. Let's get away from this a little bit and let's look at the Mariners and their futility, and instead of talking about how much it costs to sit there, I mean, we could depress ourselves with that conversation. Let's talk about more what's going on in the field. They just lost a series to the Twins. The Twins, who are our best team in baseball. Do you think they're really the best team, or they just got the best record?
I think they just got the best record. They got a lot of talent there, but I don't see them going all the way.
Yeah, I'm a little curious about their pitching. I think their offense, I will give you that they probably have the best offense in baseball.
Oh, absolutely. They lead in like home run. I don't mean to interrupt you, but I think they lead in home runs right now.
They do, and they actually have 3 or 4 fewer games than the Mariners.
Wow.
So they're not just leading. I mean, they've got in soccer you'd call it games in hand, where they're going to hit more. I mean, look at who they have on their team. Is it any small wonder that Nelson Cruz going to the Minnesota Twins?
I thought that was a bad move at first, but yeah. Good call.
Oh man, I was kind of happy that we saw a little something out of the Mariners against the Twins, some fight for a change. I mean, that 10-inning game, they really put it together, and I don't care that the Twins made 5 errors. I really don't care. You still gotta produce, right? You still gotta put runs across the board.
Absolutely do, and they played better on the road against them than when Minnesota came here a few weeks ago. They just killed us.
What are we looking for? Solack? I mean, are we looking for how well Dipoto can pull off a trade to get Encarnacion or D. Gordon or Mike Leake to someone else for some prospects? Is that really what we're doing for the rest of the season? Is just watching that?
We're watching that, but when I was younger, the trade deadline was always an excitement for me because I'm a huge fan. But since Dipoto trades everybody, doesn't matter what time of year it is. I'll believe when I see something happen, but I don't know if I'm that excited because whoever we get, they're not going to help us this season, in my opinion.
So baseball got rid of that silly waiver wire
in August
nonsense.
Yeah.
So when you talk about trades, as of last year, July 31st is the absolute last day.
The deadline, correct.
Okay. If I could have you assign percentages, Mike Leake, D. Gordon, Edwin Encarnacion, what percentage would you say that they're out the door?
Encarnacion is 100% out the door. Mike Leake is probably 100% out the door. D. Gordon, he's got a manageable contract, but I think the Mariners are going to keep him. So I'd say 50%.
You think there's anything that we can get good for these guys, or is it just get what you can?
Just get what you can.
Okay.
But I'm tired of paying the salaries. What was that last trade that we just did? We paid most of the contract. Who did we just trade off recently?
Jay Bruce.
Yeah, Jay Bruce.
We
got some guy who we signed to the Modesto Nets, and we paid most of that deal. I don't get it.
That's just I believe that was just a deal. Jay Bruce, for everybody out there, he came over in that Robinson Cano trade, and it was a way to get money off the books. And the idea is they're just going to go ahead and eat the contract for Jay Bruce and free up Vogelbach to play, basically, right?
Yeah.
Do you like Vogelbach?
Yeah, of course I do.
You like Daniel
I know
Vogelbach?
You do. I know
Okay.
you lead the fan club for him. I do
sarcasm.
When we interviewed back at Bannerwood Park before that Seattle University game,
Yeah.
I was a fan of Vogelbach. I thought they were going to play him more. He started out playing a lot more DH in the beginning of the season, I believe, but once he started hitting, they put him at first base, and he's having a decent year. He's making that trade with the Cubs a couple years ago. It makes us look like the winner right now.
That was, of course, a trade that I was not a fan of. That was Mike Montgomery.
That's right.
Going to the Cubs for a DH. And man, oh man, Solack, I do not like trading for DHs.
I know you don't.
And what did we get? What did Dipoto do last year? He traded for 2 DHs and Encarnacion and Jay Bruce, and just drives me nuts. I think like Mike Montgomery was a good starting pitcher / long reliever.
He was, and he even helped that championship team for the Cubs. He was a big factor.
Yeah, just sucks to see him
but
win a ring.
Daniel could be a one-year wonder, though, too. We'll see what happens after this year.
Major League Baseball requires that every team gets an all-star. Who do you think, from the Mariners becomes the all-star?
Oh, obvious choice would be Encarnacion because he's leading the American League in home runs right now.
21.
Yeah, but when we first talked about this, I thought long and hard. Omar Navarra is our catcher. I think he's a heck of a player, and I think he should get a nod at the All-Star team.
I highly disagree with you. Omar Narvaez is not a good player.
Why?
His defense is exceptionally bad.
I think it's gotten better, and you can't blame him for how bad our pitching staff is.
Well, hang on a minute, though. I mean, going from awful to bad, yeah, technically that's a progression, but it's not good.
I am not disagreeing with that. That's a good point, but I think his defense is getting better, and I think he's put in the right organization. The guy can hit. Him and his backup are like the number one combo in the league for wins above replacement.
Oh no! Yeah. Boy, oh boy! Because when I sit there and I watch, I don't think wins above replacement, by the way, takes into account your managing pitchers. So I call BS on that stat.
I think we just got terrible talent. I don't care who we put. We put Buster Posey back there is not going to give us 2 more wins behind the plate. I think our pitching.
What are you talking about?
Our pitching is awful. We knew that before. We overachieved in April. We got lucky because of the offense.
Hang on. Our bullpen is awful. I grant you that. But you can't tell me that Marco Rivera, Mike Leake, and
Marco
Kikuchi.
Gonzalez, you mean?
Marco.
Sorry.
And Marco Gonzalez and whoever Marco Rivera.
Even though Mariano Rivera is going to the Hall of Fame.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Is he going to go in with Edgar, right?
Yes.
So you're going to go to Cooperstown. You've been before.
Yes.
For Griffey?
For Griffey, yes.
Oh, man. That's exciting. You're going to get to see Mariano Rivera, Edgar. Who else went in this? Was it just those two?
Gosh, my
Those are
memory
the
is
two
so
headliners.
bad. Those are the 2 headliners,
Yeah.
yes.
I feel like somebody on the edge, like Musina or something like that.
Musina got in, yes.
Well, did he get in?
Yes,
Okay, yeah, I feel
yes.
like...
Those are the 3.
Okay. All right, great. Well, that's going to be a fun time, but I will let it go, and I'm not the kind who lets things go pretty easily. And we'll just agree that you're wrong and move on. So I was watching Shedlong the other day, and I know you and Matt are really high on this guy. I'm not seeing it. What am I not seeing?
Actually, Matthew Page is more high on him than I am. I don't mean to throw you under the bus, but I am.
You can throw Matt under the bus. That's fine.
I'm not high on this kid yet. He's just a future utility player, in my opinion. He's a guy. I don't see him being a major league starting second baseman in the future.
I don't either, and I don't know what position. I mean, like, I guess if you have a bat, they'll find a place for you, right?
Correct, which I think he'll be Mr. Super Utility at the most.
Okay, well, that's useful. That's something. Haniger ruptured a testicle the other day.
I was hoping you wouldn't bring that up.
Well, it's. I got a lot of jokes, but I'm trying to keep this one.
Hope you're feeling better.
So, Haniger was kind of the cornerstone. He's the key cog of this whole future, right?
Correct.
Does that leadership move over to Daniel Vogelbach at this point?
I don't see Daniel as a leader. I don't see how he could be a leader.
Even if he's not like a shouter or screamer, I mean, like, the focus of the organization has to be on him, right? No?
I don't think so.
Okay. Well,
I'm
running out of guys to focus on for the Mariners. Who's on the billboard? Like, if you put up a billboard.
Oh my gosh, that's a tough question. Do you put Santana on there maybe? Even though he can't play defense where it's Jack.
I think he has 52 RBI, doesn't he?
Yeah, I think he's a solid DH. Another DH, we traded.
My God, it sneaks up on me. I'm like, how does he have this many?
I don't know. I mean, J.P. Crawford at shorty. I know he's a young kid, but he's the future. I think he's got the talent to.
Yeah, but I don't know. He contributes about the same as Narvaez at catcher. I mean, the guy can hit. Hasn't shown it, but I know he can hit. He did it in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
But I don't see the defense being that great. I wonder if he's more of a third baseman or second baseman.
It could be second baseman. Maybe there's our future second baseman.
Okay.
I don't see anybody on the billboard, though, besides Mitch Haniger.
Oh, man.
That's sad to say, but...
Okay. Well, do you see anybody like that we could trade for? That Encarnacion or Leak or Gordon or all 3 of them could grab for us? Is there anybody that any major league team's trying to ditch that, or is it going to be the guys like Justice Sheffield or
that's what the kind of talent we're gonna get. Okay. I don't see anybody.
Well, tell the folks the bad news you texted me yesterday about Justice Sheffield. Justice Sheffield, of course, being the Yankee pitcher that we traded James Paxton for.
Correct.
So what happened to him yesterday?
He got demoted to Double-A Arkansas.
Earlier in this podcast, we were talking about the progression. There's not supposed to be a regression, is there?
Exactly.
Okay. If he were anybody else, does he get cut for his inability to...
If he were anybody else, yeah. I mean, he's this highly touted prospect that we traded Paxton for. If it's somebody, if it was another, like a Jay Bruce trade, if it was a guy we got from the Jay Bruce trade, we definitely would have cut this guy.
Okay. That's disappointing to hear.
Yeah.
Does it make you question Jerry Dipoto's trade capabilities? So far, the only one I can think of off the top of my head would be that Vogelbach trade, but I still maintain that's kind of a bummer because Mike Montgomery was good. But the other big one, and probably the most fascinating one, would be the Haniger
yeah,
for Taiwan.
And now that's also Taiwan Walker, yeah. But now that's also benefiting Arizona because Ketel Marte is hitting the snot out of the ball.
Oh, that's right.
He's going to probably have an all-star year right now. He's just...
Boy, you're debunking my own question.
I'm sorry.
I was going to ask...
that was a great trade for us, don't get me wrong, but just turning into great for both sides now.
Okay, so, I mean, it's 3 years in. What would you grade him out as? Dipoto, I'm talking about.
As GM?
Yeah.
I'd probably give him C.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not bad enough to get rid of, but not good enough to get some wins on the board.
Exactly.
All right, well, let's talk about winners. Let's stop talking about those losers for right now, because we'll come back and talk about them on the next podcast. You and I got into a little row at Bob's Burgers talking about U.S. women's soccer. The other day they beat Thailand? Yeah, Thailand, 13-0. But there was a little bit of controversy with all the celebrations and the running up of the score. What did you tell me at the bar?
I don't think it's a big deal, the running up the score or the celebration. I compared it to the Olympic team. I know you mentioned the fact that we used the NBA players. Was that you or Matt? I don't remember.
Yeah, I said that.
But we beat some team back in '94 by like almost 80 points, and nobody made a big deal, even though, granted, we didn't have social media back then. But
no, everybody celebrated it, in fact.
Correct.
It was like, oh, look how great we are.
And the women's soccer team blew the team out the other day. I just don't think it's a big deal that they celebrated.
As you're a former ball player. You just have to take your lumps. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly.
Okay. Bobby Bowden used to say, "It's not up to me to stop my offense. It's up to them to stop my offense. I can't tell my offense to not play."
Yeah.
Is that the same attitude? Because I don't know. Like I look at it. I'm not going to argue about the running up of the score because of the Bobby Bowden quote I just gave you.
Correct.
I do question the celebration. What? Aren't you tired of scoring after 13?
I don't want to get myself in trouble just because it's women. It's women's soccer. Just let them celebrate, have their fun.
Yeah, I mean, I do get what you say though. Is part of sports, competition, whatever it is, even if it's not sports, is you gotta take your lumps, and how you take loss or rejection is a character builder, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Did you watch the game or you just saw the highlights?
I saw the highlights.
Okay, yeah, same here. So I don't know. I'm not a soccer fan, but I'm hoping that they put in their backups, during the middle of the game too in this blowout. Do you happen to know if they did or not?
See, that's the thing about soccer is you don't get to replace all your players.
Oh, okay.
You're limited to 3 substitutions.
Oh. Is that pro and non?
I believe
Olympics?
that's across the board. Yeah.
Okay.
The MLS experimented with greater substitutions.
Mm-hmm.
People didn't like it. I mean, it's hard because we live in a world of we live in America, so our sports world has the NFL, or in college, where you can sub and still come back and play later.
Mm-hmm.
baseball, you have to be out, but I mean, you got 25 players.
Correct.
NBA, I mean, just everything. Like, hell, hockey, you sub in the middle of the game and they don't even stop the game.
Yeah.
So soccer seems a little bit crazy about that, but I mean, like, to be fair to the U.S. women's team, they don't have an opportunity to just all out sub and put in the reserves. So I know you're not that big into soccer, but I got a question for you. I just want to get like a third party opinion of somebody who doesn't follow this but might watch like the occasional World Cup game.
Mm-hmm.
So recently the Sounders had 10 players go play on national team play. They subsequently lost a game to Montreal because their whole team is out except for Stephen Fry, the goalie. Why does that not work the same way in, let's say, hockey? In American hockey, NHL, they actually stopped the season when, like the World Cup, or not the World Cup, but the Olympics happened. I don't understand why soccer does this. This is baffling to me.
I honestly don't know that answer, but you said they went and played in these for their national teams. That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
And are these like 2 weeks? Were they
Yeah,
gone for
exactly.
2 weeks?
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, then that's dumb. They should.
Okay, I'm not crazy then.
No, they should be stopping it because
I got soccer fans telling me like, no, this is the way it should be.
No, it's not. It's like, I don't know if this is a good comparison or not, but it's like letting half your staff go take a vacation in the middle of your busiest season.
Sure.
That's dumb. I know you're trying to be nice to your employees, but you can't let all your players or your employees or whatever go.
Yeah, that's a great analogy. I mean, it's December. We're just going to have half the staff at Snoqualmie Resort.
Yeah.
No, this is our busy season. Yeah,
That's
okay,
dumb.
I'm not crazy then.
No, you're not.
You're watching any of the NBA?
I only
finals?
playoffs. The finals I watched probably the last couple games.
So let me get your thoughts on this, since that's something that we both of us can actually get a handle on. Kevin Durant got injured, attempted to play, and re-injured. Well, no, he injured his Achilles. Originally, it was his calf that was injured. Mm-hmm. Then went in. 5 minutes later, boom, on the ground, ruptured Achilles. What do you think of Durant going into the game? Stupid or
yes, stupid.
Okay.
He wasn't 100% healthy. They have a good enough team to where I know they were struggling, and because what were they down 3-1 or whatever, 3-2? I don't even remember anymore. But the guy's hurt. You don't need him back when you got enough talent on that team to win. That was dumb, and obviously look what happened. And then the last game, my boy, God, I can't even think of his name. Clay Thompson. He got injured too. I know that's not the same scenario, but if you're hurt, it's not worth coming back. I know they get paid lots of money, but I was frustrated.
Well, he's going to lose out. I mean, he's a free agent. He's going to lose out on a big payday because Achilles, what's the standard?
Probably a year.
A year?
Yeah.
Okay. So he's just going to have to take next year off.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I don't know how much money they're going to give him. But if I were the Knicks, let's say, because there's a lot of rumors about him going to the Knicks,
mm-hmm.
I'm not giving him a max contract if he's damaged goods.
No, it's not worth a chance.
No.
I see that Golden State's willing to give him and my boy Clay to the maximum, and they got hurt, and I'm shocked to hear that. I know that loyalty, they brought him championships to the franchise, but come on, their careers may be over for all you know.
If I'm Golden State, I'm going to be honest, and this is cruel. I wouldn't even allow them I'm sorry, not allow them. I wouldn't even pay them. I'd cut them. I'd be like, I realize you have to pay the insurance on that and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
But I mean, like if they're free agents, I'm not bringing them back.
No. I don't understand basketball, especially. I don't understand how things run anymore. Their whole salary cap makes no sense to me. But speaking of salaries, the NFL in 2 years they're going to potentially have a strike or a lockout. What
is wrong with the NFL? I mean, they've got a lot of bad press lately. Do they need this extra bad press?
No, they don't. But I don't see it. It's not going to affect the game, even if they do get bad press. I guess what I'm trying to say is, people are still going to go to the games. They're still going to watch, whether they go on strike or not. Are they going to bring scab players in? Or
I don't know, dude. What was that? 88?
I remember that.
87. The NFL, brought in scab players. Steve Largent actually got in a little bit of trouble because he played even when he was supposed to be on the picket line with the rest of the players.
I remember
but
that.
He didn't do it. Cited religious reasons or something like that. I don't know what it was, but the game, you're right, didn't get hurt by that. They're almost immune. I mean, with the Colin Kaepernick stuff, I guess ratings went down a little bit.
A little bit, but not that bad.
People forget really quickly, don't they?
They do. I think it was Brock Hurd who said that NFL football is like the number one reality show on TV. I mean, I think he's 100% correct with that.
Well, did you hear about Oakland getting the Hard Knocks this year?
No,
Or you know what Hard Knocks is, right?
Refresh my memory.
It's that reality show where they come in for the summer.
Yeah, HBO or whatever.
Yeah, and when you got guys like Gruden, Chucky, and who just went there? Antonio Brown.
Yeah, Antonio Brown.
Vontez Burfict. Mm-hmm. Like, you got a lot of crazy people, and it should make for some good ratings.
It should be, yeah.
Boy, oh boy, I think that's a team that's probably going to melt down.
I think so.
The Oakland Raiders, yeah.
I would think so. But Chucky works his magic, so we'll see.
Well, Chucky has, what, a 6-year...
$100 million was his contract.
They can't even get rid of him
if
they wanted to. Do you think his time has passed? Do you think his method doesn't work anymore?
You got to give him a couple more years before you make that decision, in my opinion.
Okay.
Yeah, because he was rebuilding that team, so we'll see.
Sounds like he's not liked very well, though.
Probably not. But they're going to Vegas, in a couple of years anyways. So.
Yeah, next year, I think.
Next year, okay.
Although, don't you feel like they've been saying this for the last 3 years?
Seems like it,
Next year, we're going to Vegas. There's no stadium, guys. Next year. Speaking of stadiums, the NHL's coming to Seattle, and you saw that got pushed back a year.
I did, yeah.
Okay. Well, how long is this going to happen?
Oh.
Is my question. They're already building their center over at Northgate Mall.
Mm-hmm.
I guess Nordstrom's actually left.
Yeah, I wouldn't even call it Northgate. They are leaving. I wouldn't even call it, like my parents who live in the neighborhood, they don't even call it a mall anymore. They just call it Northgate because of all the reconstruction and the stores closing. And
so they're going to put their headquarters there, or training facility.
Facility.
Is that what it is?
Yep.
Okay. My question is, how the hell do you get from that mall to the games at Seattle Center?
Light rail? I don't know what else.
How, though? I mean, well, I guess you can go light rail and then take the monorail?
Yeah.
Come on. This is why I'm still annoyed that they didn't let Hansen build his arena down.
Agreed.
Like, you could have taken a light rail all the way down to the International Center. It's so freaking annoying.
I'm going to interrupt real quick. We were talking earlier about the ballpark. The fans are just slowly coming in. I mean, we turn our heads, and next thing you know,
they're
ballpark,
popping up. Yeah.
Pretty cool to watch.
Oh, man, such a great day for baseball, too.
Absolutely.
Let me go back to football for a second, though. I want to talk about the Seahawks receiving corps. What? Yeah, I heard that. You're not liking the receiving corps?
On paper, I guess I like who they drafted, but we'll see what happens. I really don't. I don't have a high opinion on him just yet. I guess I'm trying to say Lockett is a given, but after that, we'll see.
So, is it the fact that there's so many rookies? Is that bothering you?
Could be the reason, yeah. I like the Gary Jennings guy out of West Virginia. I don't mean to interrupt, but the other guy, I can't even think of his name.
DK Metcalf?
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, everybody's high on him, but he's buff. I'll give him that.
Well, I mean, take a look back at Aaron Curry, 4th round pick out of Purdue. No, was it Purdue?
I don't think it was Purdue, but I remember him.
Yeah, Aaron Curry. I forgot where he went to college, but 4th round pick by the Seahawks. Was a physical god, like a Greek god. He didn't turn out to do anything.
No, it's just terrible. And what did we do? Trade him to the Raiders, I believe?
He didn't do anything there either. So, okay, well, all right, you're not happy about the... It doesn't sound like you're not happy. You just expect nothing out of it.
There you go.
Out of the receiving
I know Matthew
court.
Page is happy. I'll throw him under the bus on that one, too.
Matthew Page has a lot of thoughts. I don't think he lives in the same reality as the rest of us. But, okay, so on the receiving core, tell me what you think about the defense. I mean, I'm personally not happy with it.
A lot of young kids, unproven. It's hard to say. I know I said the other night, I'm excited about them, but I thought about it, and you are right. They're no names. It doesn't mean they were good on film. We drafted them. It doesn't mean they're going to excel. I like the guy they got from Detroit, 1-year contract if he comes back healthy. The
Iggy Ansar.
Yeah.
I think Ansa.
I think that was a great. It didn't cost too much, and if he works out, he's going to be fun to watch.
Yeah, his thing is injuries, right?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, so let's see if that pans out. I do like the offensive line. Do you like our offensive line?
I do.
Okay.
Upati, they signed to play guard, was Mike Upati.
Yep.
I think he got a high ankle sprain or something the other day, but he should be back in time.
That's good. I mean, I like him. Looks like they're going to have George Fant do the old tight end / really an extra tackle routine.
Yeah, I like that.
And I saw they're not re-upping not James Carpenter. Boy, oh boy. I'm stuck in the past.
Right.
They're not re-upping the right tackle.
Fetty, right?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Where did I get James Carpenter from? But Fetty, they're not going to re-up. So I assume Fant takes that job after the next year.
You would think so.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, they'll find somebody. They have the talent. They have the people upstairs to find the talent. They've proven in the past. John Schneider's a great GM.
All right, cool. Well, looks like we're running close to the game here, so we gotta sign off. I just want to thank you for being on the very first podcast here. You and I will be doing these throughout the summer and probably keep going on from there.
Looking forward to it. Thank you. That was fun.
I want to thank all you guys out there for listening. Check us out at our sports blog. That's seattlesportsunion.com. Check us out on Twitter at SeattleSportsU. And what's your Twitter handle again there?
Soulman, Soulman, Soulman156.
Great. That's Brian Solack, and I'm Abraham DeWeese. Have a great day, everybody, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you, Bellingham.